Started working for a radio station in Madison. Let's see, I can't even think what the station's name was. WIBA, maybe? Probably the same one now. That's pretty sad. The best in the city were Tom Oates and Mike Lucas. The best. No one even close. I read everything they did because I thought, if I want to know what's going on, I'm going to follow these guys. So, was it last week we had on Mike Lucas?
Last week, yes.
Yeah, last week. So today it's Tom Oates, and I don't know how many Hall of Fames and everything. I don't care. They were the best. You never forget it. And the whole time I was there, the 3 years, they were still the best all 3 years. Joining us now is Tom Oates. Oatesy, good evening.
Homer, how are you?
I'm ready, but I need help from you on stuff. You ready? You ready?
All right, sure.
All right. Well, I don't have any idea what to think about Wisconsin football. I asked Lukey last week. I don't know who's good. I don't know who's on the team. I don't know how much money they've got. I'm a little worried about Fickle. I liked him as a choice, but I'm concerned that I'm not sure he knows what to do. And so just who's the quarterback? Who's on the team? Do they have enough money? What should people know? Talk to us for however you long about what the status is of Wisconsin football.
Here's the deal in this brave new world of college athletics, Homer, is you don't know who the hell anybody is anymore on teams.
I know Ohio State's good because they got a ton of money.
There's so much roster turnover, and all there used to be, when you recruited a player, he might want the school, he might like the facilities, he might like the number of times you're on TV, he might like your history of developing professional athletes, whatever. This goes basketball, football, everything. There were all these factors. Now there's only one factor, and it's money. How much are you going to pay me? And consequently, there's an incredible amount of roster turnover, and fans, I think, are really becoming a little disaffected by it.
Well, disinterested because these aren't student athletes; they're representatives, professionals representing the school, right?
They're bought and paid for professional athletes,
right?
And I believe one of the beauties of college athletics, as a fan, as a reporter, whatever, is that you'd see kids come in. They are 18 years old. They didn't know how to do anything, and there were a few special athletes, but by and large, they had to go through a learning process and a maturation process, both physically and mentally and emotionally. And as a fan, if you followed closely, and certainly you know this as a reporter, you get to know these kids. It's kind of fun to watch that journey. It's fun to watch them mature, and when they're juniors and seniors, they're team spokesmen, and they're really good players. Even though they might have come in as a 3-star recruit, they've matured into really good players who can play with anybody in the country. And that journey was just so much fun and I think such a big part of college athletics, but you don't see it anymore. So the upshot is, when you look at Wisconsin right now, most of these players, no one knows them. I mean, no one's seen them play. No one's, how many players are still left over from the Paul Chryst, Jim Leonard year? 10 at most on the whole team. I mean, I don't know. Guess that might be high. I would guess that might be high. And it's just so hard to tell. It's until you start playing games, it's really hard to tell just how good or where they're at. My read on it is they have some pretty good players. I think they have the right mindset. I think they were stung by not making a bowl game last year. They've gone back to an offense that is much more palatable for Wisconsin and is a much better fit for Wisconsin and the type of athletes it gets. But I think they're thin. I think they're really thin in a lot of places. So, that's tough when you have to stand up to the likes of Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State, USC, and they're just buying players right and left. And Wisconsin has to use its money wisely. Ohio State, they need a tackle. They can go get a tackle and, pay top dollar. College athletics to me is a little screwed up, and it's made following the Badgers harder, watching the Badgers harder. People are going to, when they roll out the team August 20 whatever, when they roll out the team, it's going to be a revelation, because a lot of these players people haven't seen.
All right. Now the problem then becomes also, how do you judge a coach? How do you judge Fickell? And I think it's also necessary to mention the difficulty of the schedule. But again, well,
let's look at this. First, judging a coach. I go by, in this era, it's how well coaches are now defined by how well they've adjusted to this era of college athletics. And look at Greg Gard. Who has adjusted more than Greg Gard? I mean, seriously. All of a sudden they're playing an up-tempo offense, and you watch a game and you see 10 shots that Bo Ryan would have, had you out of the game so quick you wouldn't have known what hit you. And, Gard just let it go, and that that's part of the game. You play up tempo. You fire up some shots.
But Fickell tried to do the same thing with his offense on the football team, and it failed terribly.
Fickell went too far.
All right.
Gard still has many of the concepts. Trust me, the defensive concepts, even some of the offensive concepts that they've always had. Fickell just went too far. He Don Morton did. He brought in Phil Longo, but Fickell basically punted the first 2 years of his tenure by bringing in a coach who ran an offense that didn't even have a remotely fit the players that Wisconsin had on the roster, A, and the kind of players Wisconsin can get, B. It just didn't fit. And he basically punted away the last 2 years. I've always said that the biggest question about this era of Wisconsin football is whose idea was Phil Longo? And the fact is, Phil Longo's a pretty damn good football coach, and he's now a head coach down in Texas at a smaller school. But he's a good football coach, but he was a horrible fit, just like Don Morton was a horrible fit, because what they did on offense didn't match what Wisconsin can do and what Wisconsin can get. So basically, I look at this as a starting over year for Fickell. I really do. I just think he just basically, the last 2 years were lost years because of a horrible decision. And I want to know if he made that decision, or Chris McIntosh made that decision, or one of the big boosters made that decision. I'd like to know who the hell made the decision.
Well, if any was,
because it was just a bad mistake.
It has to be him. They're paying him a ton of money.
I'm not sure. I know. I mean, if you listen to Chris McIntosh during that whole stretch, it was, we have to change the way Wisconsin does things. Well, you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Okay, you have to change. Hey, everybody knew they needed a change. Their offense was outdated, but there's a lot of schools in this country running run-first offenses very successfully. They just basically threw the whole thing out and started over, and that was just a really bad mistake.
Which I know why you're saying this, because Lukey said the same. You have to look at Fickell. This is nothing Fickell had done before. This was new to him, too.
Well,
right?
That's why I don't understand it. Fickell had played against Wisconsin and coached against Wisconsin for most of the last 30 years or 25 years. He knew how Wisconsin operated. That's why it's a complete mystery to me as to whose big idea this was. But it really set this program
So who do you
back.
think?
I think McIntosh's mandate was to change the offense dramatically, and however Fickle read that initiative, they ended up with Phil Longo.
All right.
And now they're back. Jeff Grimes worked for Lance Leipold at Kansas last year. He's a run-first guy, but he's not just a run guy. I mean, there's a pass game that he has and that he coaches, and we'll see. Part of their problem the last 2 years has been their starting quarterback got hurt, and in both instances, when you're running that offense, the offense they were running, everything depends on the quarterback. Now, with this offense, the quarterback's still vitally important, don't get me wrong, but everything doesn't depend on the quarterback. But they had some bad injury luck for 2 years in a row with transfer quarterbacks. Now they have another transfer quarterback, Billy Edwards. But I think they've lessened their reliance on quarterback play, I guess is probably the best way to put that.
Right.
And they have a couple of really promising running backs. I think their offensive line's horribly thin. They really need to cross their fingers there.
How do you know they're
year.
promising running backs? I thought they had promising running backs the last couple of years, and they.
Well, the one kid played last year and showed some real skill. The other one redshirted. So,
okay.
and I've seen him in practice, not this year but last year. I thought both of them have a chance to be really high-producing running backs in a good run game.
So how will you judge watching this year's team? You've said you've given him a pass on the 2 years, so this is basically his first year. Are you going to watch the line of scrimmage? And this is my question, I think, for everybody who watches him. Like, what? Oatsy, talking with Tom Oates, how do you judge? I want to see players that look like they're pretty good. I mean, we're watching the Badgers who stands out? Nobody. They don't have any. Who's special? Nobody.
I want to see some special players emerge. I think you're 100% right on that. I also want to see a return to physicality,
all right,
both offensively and
line
defensively.
Of scrimmage.
That was totally lost. And I think J.J. Watt dropped that bomb on the team the other day when he talked to him, and he's 100% right. Wisconsin has really lost its identity the last 2 years.
Right. Is that because they lost the identity or the players they got weren't any good?
Part of that, yeah.
All right, okay.
But the whole Alvarez, Bielema, Christ era was predicated on being a really physical team that was physical enough to stand up to the Ohio States and the Michigans of the world. And that's how you could give them a fight, was you didn't let them push you around. Now, they might have more skill and they might beat you, but Wisconsin did not get pushed around. And the last couple of years, Wisconsin's been pushed around. And I agree with J.J. Watt on that 100%. It's just they have to get back to that. That's how Wisconsin wins. It's not the only thing they have to do, but that's how Wisconsin wins.
So is that because of the players they can recruit, or what makes you say that's how they have to play?
Because they can't recruit like Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State. They don't have they didn't have the recruiting ability before, and now that it's just all down to money, they really don't have the ability to recruit with those teams. So they have to take the next level kid, be physical, be developmental, do all those things. And hey, TJ, the great TJ Van Wee just walked by. Do you know who TJ Van Wee is?
No, I have no idea. I think I do.
Paul Ryan's first All-American basketball player at Platteville. First team.
He's no Rob Jeter. Come on, let's go. Don't be going crazy now.
He played. Actually, TJ and Rob played together.
Yeah, but he was no Rob Jeter, right? The best player that Bo Ryan ever had at Platteville, I'm assuming, is Rob Jeter.
No, I would not agree with that. There were a number of. Another really good one was Ernie Peavy, who was a Milwaukee area kid.
No, okay.
They had a lot. They had a lot of really good players. TJ was his first team All-American. So, and I think he was a year older than Robbie, I'm guessing. So, but anyway, back to the task at hand. They have a really difficult schedule. It's going to be hard to judge them on wins and losses. I think if they win 6 games and go to a bowl, it would be a successful year. But as we've talked, I think there are more important things. They have to establish an identity.
But they're going to have, if they can win 6 games, they'll establish something, because that's going to be tough to do because of the teams they play, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a number of built-in losses just because they're not in the same league with a few of the teams on their schedule, Alabama, Ohio State, et cetera.
Rule 1 from Otzi: Wisconsin wins 6 games, everybody should be happy, right?
I agree. I will state.
So if you win 5, you're a little disappointed, but you shouldn't think it's the end of the world.
No, last year's schedule was brutal.
Yes.
This year's schedule is even tougher. Next year's schedule eases up. I mean, and I don't think this is a make or break year for Fickell in any way. There's a lot of pressure on him. Don't get me wrong.
Well, no, I can tell you what it is. He embarrasses the school. He's done. They win 2 games. They win 3 games. It's over.
Well, I don't think. I mean, I think there's 3 or 4 built-in wins on their schedule.
But if there's a certain number of games, they only win 2 games. Otzi, he's gone, right?
What they have to do is stand up physically to the Minnesotas and the Illinois and the Iowas of the world, and give themselves a chance to win those games. That's what they have to do. A lot will depend on the quarterback, but a lot will depend on the offensive line, because they're going to go back to a running style. And Kansas ran the ball really well, and Kansas doesn't have a staid offense that's rooted in the past. Like, I think Chris' offense got very stale toward the end. I think everybody could see that. And Kansas has a vibrant, modern offense that runs the ball really well. And so I think what you're going to see is a return to a running game, but it's not going to be the 3 yards in a cloud of rubberized tire flex.
Well, no, I got it from you. 6 would be great. 5, you'll accept 5. You won 6.
I'll accept 5, bringing Fickell back and giving him another crack at a more manageable
assuming
schedule.
You see some of the other things you're watching.
There's things you want to watch. You want to watch for an offense that reestablishes some of the things Wisconsin used to do. You want to watch for physicality, especially in the front 7. I think the defensive coordinator's on the hottest spot myself, because he's done very little, and the defense was going along swimmingly under Jimmy Leonard, and it's regressed, and it's not as aggressive. They put little pressure on the passer last year, and this is a program that turned out T.J. Watt and Van Ginkel and Zach Bond and all these linebackers that were all over the quarterback, and now they can't even get close enough to tell what number the quarterback is. So there's just so much that has been filtered out of the program. Has he recruited spectacularly? Absolutely not. Has he recruited decently? Absolutely. I don't think, the fall off shouldn't necessarily be in the type of talent, although very few great players. I mean, the NFL draft doesn't lie, as I often say. And, they had a few great players here, but Braylon Allens and the Hunter Wohlers have filtered out of the program. I do think Ricardo Hallman, that's cornerback's an outstanding player, but they need some players to really step up.
All right, I would agree.
And it's hard to tell when these players are just coming from all over and X percent of the roster is turning over every year. And these transfers, they're not coming in to sit, they're coming in to play. So there's none of that, you get to watch a kid work in a few series as a freshman and then, bloom into a full-time player as a sophomore and a star as a junior. That's all just out the window now.
All right, I got to take a break, but I want to get a couple minutes from you on the Packers. You got about 5 more minutes?
Okay, about 5 more minutes. That sounds good.
Tom Oates, Packers, next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Some good news. Eastbound Highway 16 from Highway JJ all the way down to 94 has been reopened. That earlier accident that happened this morning finally got cleared out of the way. Westbound 94 right now slowing down from 25th Street to about Mitchell Boulevard, back on the brakes from Highway 100 all the way to Moreland Road, where there is an accident off on the left shoulder there. And west of Highway 16, we're seeing delays all the way out almost to Maple Avenue. So giving yourself extra time for that would be a good idea. Southbound 41 backing up from Appleton Avenue to Capitol, northbound from Watertown Plank Road up to Hampton, and northbound 43 slowing down just before Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up towards Burleigh. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. John Neal and his team know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight. Clear and cool, a low of 60. Tomorrow, sunny and beautiful, a high of 78. Weather is brought to you by Fifth Third Bank, custom solutions built around your goals, member FDIC. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
It's Ben Brust from KBN. Join us live at IKEA Oak Creek on Friday, August 8th from 2 to 5 p.m. We're bringing the fun, and IKEA's bringing the flavor with their Summer Barbecue Bash. From 4 to 7 p.m., IKEA family members can feast on a buffet packed with barbecue classics, and yes, there's a little Swedish twist too. All for just $5. Not an IKEA family member yet? No worries. Sign up online for free today. Get all the tasty details at Oak Creek IKEA store page on IKEA.com/US. See you there.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Faith and Bigora, lads and lassies. Irish Fest is almost here. One of the great Milwaukee summer festivals. And we'd like to send you there. Compliments of Discount Liquor. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. Purchase any one 18-pack of Miller Lite, Draft, or 64, or Coors Light, and receive one free ticket to Irish Fest. But don't delay. Tickets go quickly, and I know you don't want to miss all the great Irish food and beverages. Visit us today at 51st in Oklahoma and Milwaukee, and on Barstow and Main in downtown Waukesha. Discount Liquor, voted best liquor store in Milwaukee again. See us this week for your free Irish Fest ticket.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Check out all of our weekly specials at discountliquorinc.com.
Hey, Jen Latta here, and as a client of the We Sell Group, I can tell you firsthand, Rob and Nick make the home buying and selling process easier. Right now, school's out, and that means it's the perfect time to list your home. The market is challenging and inventory is tight, but you don't have to face it alone. Rob and Nick are pros. They take the stress off your plate so you can focus on your family, your summer, and just breathe. Contact Rob and Nick to see what your home might be worth in this market. Connect today at wesell.kw.com. That's wesell.kw.com.
Wow, a bomb by Yelich.
Join the crew for an electric matchup when the Brewers host the Mets August 8th through the 10th. The weekend starts with a celebration at Cerveceros Night on Friday the 8th, featuring makers markets, music, and more. Then don't miss an all-new Christian Yelich bobblehead giveaway on Saturday the 9th, courtesy of American Family Insurance. Close out the series with Sunday Matinee Baseball and a limited edition Jacob Mizorowski t-shirt giveaway. Grab your tickets at Brewers.com.
Looking for localized banking solutions and a strategic partner? Fifth Third Bank has been shaping the future for businesses for 167 years and for the last 15 right here in Milwaukee. We offer industry-specific expertise, local decision-making, and extensive experience to help you navigate the ever-changing business landscape with your business in mind. At Fifth Third, we're big enough to provide sophisticated solutions and expert guidance, yet empowered to make local decisions and build strong community connections. Experience the commercial banking value only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
This is the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
This is the Gary Ellison Homer Hour. Gary's on assignment, joined by Tom Oates. I let him use the word that I never use and never will use, physicality. I don't control what other people say, especially someone like Tom Oates, who was the best in Madison when I got there, and I assume he hasn't lost anything. You haven't lost a beat now. I mean, you're getting older, but you haven't lost a step, have you?
I've lost a few yards off my drives. And
That doesn't matter.
As you know, I couldn't afford to do that. So
Yeah, this isn't about golf game. This is about analysis of sports teams. You haven't lost anything.
Well, experience still counts for something, Homer, as you know.
Yeah. And then, all right, the podcast again, Oatsy and Lukey is what I would call the podcast. You guys gave it another name.
Almost everything, I didn't give it that name, but almost everything that you see in sports, if you've been around long enough, you've seen it before. And
I would say other than college sports, what college sports is going through now, you've never seen before. This is new.
Oh, no, this is all new. And like I said, those who are adjusting, it appeared Fickle adjusted well, but maybe he just doesn't have the resources that some of his counterparts do. I don't know. It's obvious after last season that Greg Gard has adjusted well, which kudos to Greg, since he had to do some things differently.
Well, now it appears he's going, as other schools have, international players.
Yeah, I mean that's
can't do that in football.
You can't do that in football, and he, if you look around, international players are the rage right now, and part of the reason he made additions and changes to his staff is to bring in some coaches who are very familiar with.
Yeah, Kirk Penny was the key.
Kirk Penny and Lance Randall, who has coached European teams, is very well connected as well. So, and Krabenhoff has some connections over there, having played over there. But I would say Kirk Penny and Lance Randall are the two guys that really have the good connections. I'm sure Steensma does because he played some overseas, but he played a lot in the G League and then he bounced around the NBA. So I mean, they've made some really nice additions to their staff, and again, Kirk's New Zealand ties have yielded one player coming this year and another one coming next year.
But I don't know if they have closer to the money you need to be good, or it's different in basketball and football. That's what I was asking you before. It's just really hard to know. I mean, if you don't have enough money, then you're not going to be as good. I don't care who you are. So then how much is that on the coach, or take it away?
I don't know how much. Right. I don't know how much Wisconsin football has, but I do know how much Wisconsin basketball has. And I would say that it is below, it's in the lower half of the Big Ten. And it's probably way in the upper half of the lower half. I mean, it's
right. Like, for example, I think Indiana spent more money than Wisconsin did last year.
Oh, no question. I mean, how much did Duke's roster cost it last year in basketball? It had to be $20 million. Well, they aren't even close to that, and few teams are. North Carolina supposedly has already spent $15 million on this year's roster. They're not. That's stupid money.
But you still have to get the right players. The money is no guarantee.
Well, I didn't see either one of those teams winning a national title last year. So,
right.
No, you're right. You're right. You still have to get the right players. You have to do the right coaching, and I think you have to. It's going to be harder to maintain a culture, both football and basketball, with all the player movement. But you still have to maintain some kind of a culture where new players are assimilated into the culture and understand how things work and all that business. So it's a fine line, and these coaches are really at their wits' end.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for them. They're still getting paid pretty well.
No, they're getting
They'll
paid
figure it
pretty
out.
well, but it's all come down to money. Like I was saying before, there were any number of things you could use to recruit. Now it's just what's the bottom line.
And we don't really know what the money is. I'm assuming it'll become more public this year as they're working through and with the NCAA, correct? Yeah,
there's a movement afoot to make everything more transparent, so you don't get, the coaches want it because then they're not bidding against phantoms. They know what they're up against when they're bidding for a kid, that type of thing, or what this school what Ohio State spends is willing to spend. Now it's just all hearsay. I mean, throw a number out there that you heard through the grapevine on a player, and you'll get denials all around. Well, no, you're right. But everybody just denies everything.
But once the schools, if you're a public school, once you're paying a kid, as I think they're going to do this year, then that's going to become public.
Well, there's the $20.5 million that they're able to pay all athletes, and the lawsuits from women athletes have already started, and predictably and rightfully so. So it's not going to be divided equally. And then there's also the whole NIL. Off the record NIL that's still available to athletes, and you cannot tell me that the off the record NIL money won't be a part of the recruiting pitch. So because we've seen since the NIL money came in that's all NIL money's been used for, is to be part of the recruiting.
But now you have the money that the school can pay, and so they're trying to. The NIL will be more legit than it was in the past, because in the past it was 99% phony.
Until the NIL becomes transparent, and I'm not talking the through the school NIL, which is almost what it became, but I think NIL is going to get more murky because the schools are paying, but then there's going to be this secondary source of money that is probably going to go totally unreported. And I hope that the NCAA can get NIL money, all NIL money under control, at least.
And it's not hard to do. NIL money is all you got to do is say what the person was paid from the company or whatever, as to whether or not what they did justified what they were paid in terms of the advertising benefit or whatever to the business.
What if Ohio State tells the NIL tells the NCAA to take a hike? It's not furnishing any of that information. The NCAA is the most toothless organization, and they did it to themselves, and they don't have any power anymore, and it's all their own fault. They're so short-sighted, and now they don't have any power, and they can't do anything. If Michigan and Ohio State say, we're not reporting.
No, the only hope is that the other schools are that the other schools complain. I don't know. I just go by what Jay Billis tells me. They're making $20 billion. They'll figure it out. So we'll see. But yes, that's the NIL is the.
Don't get me started on Jay Billis.
Yeah, get started on Jay Billis. Go for it, LC.
He was the asshole who said NIL money wouldn't be used for recruiting, and 2 years later, that's all it was being used.
Was he? Did he actually say that? I'm going to have to look that up. I didn't realize
go look
that.
It up.
I will look it up. All right, let's get to the Packers. I need your help on the Packers. The Packers to me are very simple. All right, then you got to go. Packers are simple. The coach is good. The GM is good. The players are good. But are they good enough to be better than just a good team? And I don't know what's there that's better than good so that they can get past the best in the NFC to get to the Super Bowl. How much would you agree or disagree with that?
I think they have a good team. I think they have a good team. They have a contending team. And as we've seen, it's not necessarily the best team. It's the team that's playing the best at the end of the year. I think there's two people under the gun in Green Bay, and they should be under the gun, and they are. And that's the head coach and the quarterback. The head coach has run a nice program, and he's won a lot of games. but he hasn't done anything in the playoffs. And until Matt LaFleur does something in the playoffs, he's going to be suspect.
But what maybe he doesn't have players good enough to win in the playoffs?
They have a very nice roster. Is it
All
the
right.
best roster in the league? No, it's not. But
So you
Philly
like
have the best
Goody more
roster
than
in the league.
LaFleur?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do. I just think both LaFleur and Love, the quarterback, have a lot to prove. Love was not good last year. You can attribute it to injuries.
I do.
Sophomore slump. NFL had book on him and was ready for him. You can attribute to any dang thing you want. But he wasn't good enough last year. He was good enough the back half of the 23 season. He was not good enough last year. He's got a lot to prove.
So what do they have to do for you to be happy? You said you'll take 6.
They have to get somewhere in the playoffs, and I mean, and not
NFC Championship game.
Well, yeah,
okay.
Contend. I mean, be a real contender. Not that we were in the playoffs until we met one of the good teams, and then we got drummed out by X number of touchdowns. You know, that's they have to be better than that because that's all they've been the last 4 or 5 years.
But then don't they have to be better than Philly or Detroit or?
Yeah, but
okay.
I think they can play with those teams. They have to beat them.
Yes.
They didn't beat the good teams last year. They didn't beat the Vikings. They didn't beat the Lions. They didn't beat the Eagles. They didn't beat good teams. You got to beat good teams to get somewhere.
So why didn't they? You say coach and quarterback. But if the quarterback's healthy and it was injuries last year, then they should be okay. I'm not saying you say that.
I thought the wide receivers and the quarterback both had bad years last year. And the wide receivers, they had that deep group, and it was coming off a promising season, and everybody thought they were going to be great, and then they weren't great, and then Watson got hurt, and then the quarterback got hurt, and they just never developed what I thought was any kind of a real great consistent passing attack.
Right, which should have been better because they had a better running game. Josh Jacobs was outstanding.
I agree. That's what they said, but that didn't materialize.
I know.
So who's that on? It's on the offense.
I would say it's on the head coach. He was supposed to be a guy who was great with plays. Now you give him a better running game. That should make things better for the offense, but it didn't.
And the quarterback has to be way more consistent than he was.
All right.
All right?
I got it. Thanks for the time, Oatsy. You're the best.
See you, Homer.
Tom Oates. I don't think he's with the Wisconsin State Journal. Doesn't matter anymore. It's just Tom Oates. If you don't know who Tom Oates is, well, sorry. You're listening to the wrong show. 1-800-990-3776. We got a couple minutes left for you. Old-fashioned sports talk radio. Because if you don't call in, Pebble, who's going to talk the rest of the time? You. Yeah. Next.
The Homer Hour is back after this on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Still dealing with the crash on westbound 94, right about at Moreland Road. It's off on the left shoulder, so watch out for that. We got delays coming in from the county line all the way to that point. Eastbound has got some backups from about Springdale Road all the way through to about Calhoun. We've also got more delays then from about 76th Street through the Stadium interchange. Northbound 43 backing up just before Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up to about Locust. And then on 41, a heavy ride from just south of Appleton Avenue to Capitol. Northbound is backed up just before Mayfair Road all the way up to about Hampton. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, clear and cool, a low of 60. Tomorrow, sunny and beautiful, a high of 78. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
ESPN Radio Sports Beat with Freddie Coleman.
There's no doubt about Shohei Ohtani being that great two-way player for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And yeah, he's had his struggles here and there, but there is no doubt that he's the best player in Major League Baseball. But do the Dodgers, the Hollywood Swingers, need to put a pause on him being a two-way dude, at least for 2025? Here's why I'm saying that. Because Shohei Ohtani has that power in that organization. They're going to do what he wants them to do or what he tells them to do regarding him. But the pitching, I know he's probably good at it, but he's not great at it. And is it worth having that take away from how prodigious he's been with that stick in the line for Los Angeles Dodgers, especially when everybody else is chasing them for that number one seed, to be that top team? The Padres, they're not fooling around. The Phillies, the Mets, the Cubs, the Brewers, they all believe that the Dodgers can't get got. And if Shohei Ohtani is trying to be a two-way player and it compromises the bat that they're going to need, then maybe, just maybe, the Dodgers need to put a pin in that and take pause for the cause. In 60 seconds, this Philly needs more love.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
You're going to hear about plenty of MVP candidates, whether it's the American League or the National League. And believe me, Aaron Judge and Cal Raleigh of the Yankees and the Seattle Mariners on one side. And on the other side, more than likely, even though Shohei Ohtani has not been the Shohei we're used to seeing with the Dodgers, he could be the odds-on favorite. But there's one dude that, in my opinion, the season in right now would be the MVP of the National League. And that guy's Kyle Schwarber of the Philadelphia Phillies. Don't just look at, well, Freddie needs a bat for a higher batting average. That's not his deal. But the 37 home runs, the 86 RBIs, the fact that anytime something good is going on, he's always in the middle of that for the fighting Phils in Philadelphia. He may not be the best of the best. Hell, he may not even be the best player in his own team. Many people believe that's Bryce Harper, who has the most talent. But this year, I don't believe anybody's been more valuable to their baseball team and their success than Kyle Schwarber. If the Phillies win the NL East, he should win the MVP because Lord knows his value goes a lot more than the numbers in Philadelphia. For the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Freddie Coleman of ESPN Radio's Freddie and Harry.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
The Gary Ocean Homer Hour. My thanks again to Tom Oates. Yes, I do not have a rule that determines what other people on the show can say. I will never use the word physicality. He did. You're physical and tough. That's the way it was for the first 65 years of my life, and that's the way it's staying. I didn't think, and really don't think physicality is a word, but apparently it might be. 1-800-990-3776. You have just a few minutes to call in on the show. I would also like to say Cowboys pass rusher Micah Parsons. He's not being traded. He can say whatever he wants. He can say he wants to become a jockey, whatever. They're not trading him. In the end, all the Cowboys players seem to get the kind of money they want. Parsons is set to make $21 million on the fifth-year option of his rookie deal. So there's no way they're going to trade him. And I think he'll get a contract. I don't understand if he says he wants to be traded, what he should say. It has nothing to do with money. We're never going to win anything here. As long as Jerry Jones is running things, they're never going to win anything. They've been horrible. When was the last time they made the NFC Championship game? I think it's 1995. So Pebble can look. He got his 3 rings, 2 with Jimmy Johnson, 1 with Switzer, and then he's done nothing but make money, and they're horrible. It's terrible, and all the players that put up with it, I think almost all of them been paid well. I don't think he's been cheap at all. And I think he'll end up paying Micah Parsons. I don't understand why he waits as long as he does, but Parsons, if he wants to be traded, should say, I want to be traded because I want to win. I ain't ever win anything here, but he just wants his money, and I think history would say that he'll get it. Jerry Jones is always paid in the end. Brian in South Milwaukee, you're on 94.5 ESPN, old-fashioned sports talk. I have no idea what Brian's going to talk about.
Well, hey, Homer, it was a great interview with Tom Oates. He hit on a lot of really good points. Just talking about Badger football, Yeah, I think we're going to see a huge upgrade, especially on the defensive front seven this year. They've done a good job in the portal. They've brought in some pretty good caliber players. Not anybody outstanding, but I think some guys that are very solid.
Well, hold on. So have they brought in players a lot better than what they brought in the last couple of years, or what?
Yeah, I think they have, especially on the front line. And I think from what I've seen, they're listing their defense not as that big vaunted 2-5 that they've run the last 2 years, which I thought right away out of the chute was, I'm like, what the heck are they thinking running 2 down linemen in the Big Ten? They're listing it as a 3-4/2-5. So I think they're going to run a lot more 3-man fronts, which they're going to need to run in the Big Ten. They've got the kid from Tulane coming in. He's a big tackle. He's going to probably play the nose for them. I say 7-5 is what they're going to finish this year. They're going to have to pull some upsets no matter what. You have to pull some upsets.
No kidding. I'm willing to listen to everybody because I want to write the stuff down to figure out who actually knows what they're talking about, because I don't think anybody knows. And maybe some do, like how good the players are. The one place, though, I would look, as Oatsy talked about, I'd love to see a list of which schools are spending the most money, as to use that as a judgment of where teams are going to be ranked. But, how weird is it? The guy from Tulane. Come on. Tulane? But they could be good. Indiana brought all the players in from James Madison. So you believe Brian is down for 7 wins. Brian, you can come to Ted's and leave any amount of money that you want, $1,000 or less. That's Ted's in Tosa, 62nd and North. And I will match it in a bet that Wisconsin will not win 7 games. And that's more a reflection of the toughness of the schedule. So 7 or more, you win the bet. Less than 7, I win the bet. Kevin at Ted's takes all the money. And feel free to drop over there whenever you want. Whenever you drop it off, you have to trust me that I'll match it, which I will. Up to $1,000.
Got it. Ted's in Tosa. Will do.
You bet. Thanks for the call. 1-800-990-3776. Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin. Don't give the address enough. Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin. I don't think anybody knows for sure how many games Wisconsin's going to win, but I know for sure, and people that have gone there do, that Fisco Auto Body is so good. How can they be so good? Simple. It's family business, owned since 1931. It's not what they do, it's who they are. It's still in the family, still doing all the work. So imagine the age at which they start doing this stuff. That's why they can be so good on your car. Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin. Expert workmanship guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin. You'll like them, and then you'll like me. I like that too. Fisco, to remember the name. Yep. How many bets do you think we've actually had at Ted's after I've set it up?
I must say you have had 0.
1.
1, okay.
I can't even remember what it was. It was so long ago. Everybody talks tough.
But did you win it?
I did win it, yes. But when it comes down to showing up there, putting the money on the line, not up to it. 1-800-990-3776. It doesn't have to be a bet. You're next. And again, if you don't call, I'm talking next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Looking for the best spot to hang out at the Wisconsin State Fair? Head to Left's Miller Lite Sports Bar and Grill on the corner of Grandstand Avenue and 2nd Street. Enjoy the best music lineup at the fair, plus crowd favorites like French onion cheese curds and meatloaf and mashed bomb pops. Join the Taste Great Less Filling contest daily at 3 p.m. to win Brewers tickets, and don't miss the Miller Lite Toast from 5:30 to 7:15. Catch 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee broadcasting live on August 4th and 5th with chances to win swag, prizes, and more. For more details, visit lefts.com, and we'll see you at Left's Miller Lite Sports Bar and Grill.
We know that the people of Wisconsin are hard workers, that they're tough. But even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
Awarded Best of Weddings 2023 by The Knot, the Bog is much more than world-class golf. Our clubhouse ballroom offers floor-to-ceiling windows and a breathtaking full-wall fireplace. Our barn venue was inspired by the on-site barn at Hole 6, built in the 1800s. 2 outdoor ceremony sites, and a variety of personalized options. Our venues are perfect for family get-togethers, weddings, showers, graduation parties, or any event you are hosting. Call the Bog at 262-292-0740 or visit thebarnatthebog.com.
Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you tried online gaming. Who knew 12-year-old boys could be so mean? And where did they learn to swear like that? 2 hours of losing to these underage trash talkers, and you're starting to question if maybe you really should stick to pickleball and other boomer stuff. So use Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. Build a customized renter's policy with American Family Insurance so you can protect your tandem bike on the go. Thief! Oh, he is struggling with that two-seater. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Some exclusions may apply. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
The dance of sunlight on water.
Shimmering, sparkling, beautiful, hypnotic.
Houses that overlook a gorgeous body of water are the most highly desired houses in the world.
The Bellamare collection of fine jewelry features classic white diamonds, flanked and surrounded by rare and exotic blue diamonds.
Bellamare means beautiful water.
Bellamare, sunlight on water, glimmering and twinkling.
The dance is enticing.
The look is spectacular.
The impact is exciting.
Blue and white diamonds created in the heart of Mother Nature.
Will dance and sing on the body of a glittering, sparkling woman.
Bellamare. This blue and white beauty of sunlight on water
should be worn on the fingers,
the wrist,
the neck, and the ears
of the woman you love.
The Bellamare collection is available only at Kessler's.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
For the location of the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Hi, I'm David Gruber. When you've been seriously injured, you need the best team of professionals on your side. Call Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices to get the results you deserve. One call, that's all.
Welcome back to the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
One 800-990-3776. Only a couple minutes left to call in. Gary Ellison on assignment. He'll be back next Friday. I don't know where do we check? Somebody says DraftKings. I should maybe check Potawatomi. Micah Parsons' next team, the Dallas Cowboys, minus 300. I'll gladly put up 300 to make 100 on that. I don't know what. Each place is different. Pebble, can you check to see if Potawatomi has anything on
Look, yeah.
Micah Parsons' next team? I think I would probably go as high as 500. 400 to win 100. He's not going anywhere. There's no way Jerry Jones is trading him. 1-800-990-3776. That's what DraftKings is saying. The Discount Liquor Twitter poll question, how many wins will Wisconsin need to have this coming season for you to be happy? 7 or more, 68%. Well, you're going to be unhappy. 6, 24.6%. That's what I said. 5, 5.3%, and 4, 1.8%. I'm giving a bit of a cushion or I'm voting on a curve because of how tough the schedule is. And more than anything, I'm in search of trying to figure out where or who has the ability to analyze the college football teams and who's going to be good and how are they doing it. from all the new players. How much money is our school spending? I don't know how anybody can know. I guess I would assume that Ohio State's going to be good. Other than that, who can you assume that's going to be good? Georgia. I don't know. I'm willing to admit it. I don't know how anybody can. I don't know how any information is out there, like with recruiting, who's transferring, who's not transferring, who's coming back. Any update on if I can make some money on Micah Parsons? 1-800-990-3776. If you have found a source where you think that's knowledgeable about what's going to happen in college football.
Well, Penn State's going to be good.
Penn State's going to be, yes.
They're bringing a lot of their the guys that were going to be second and third round or second and third day draft choices last year. They're coming back and they're pulling the Michigan and Ohio State, bringing all the guys back for one last run to see if they can win it all.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily sold to the same degree on Michigan. You are?
They got on Michigan?
Yeah.
Michigan's probably going to be somewhere around 9-3, 10-2, somewhere around there.
All right, but Michigan, Penn State, and Ohio. So is this just you acquiring information, or is there anywhere you go where it seems like somebody's keeping track of this
stuff?
This
is just me acquiring information, yeah.
All right, maybe you're my guy. Okay. How's Wisconsin going to do that?
Wisconsin, I've got them probably finishing like 4-8, probably, to tell you the truth. I mean, this is not like...
by the way, Pebble, you never have to say, tell the truth. Everything we say is by definition the truth as we see it. We don't make up anything on this show. You also cannot use physicality.
No, I won't. No.
Is there another cality that's out there that people use? Intelligent cality? All right, so if you can help me out on, I'm willing to go as high as minus 400 to bet 100 on Micah Parsons' next team being the Dallas Cowboys. You didn't find it or anything,
I didn't
right?
find anything.
Yeah,
no.
I don't. You never it's just hard to know. I'm not driving to Chicago, which I think I have to do for DraftKings, don't you? In order to play.
I believe so. Yeah, for DraftKings. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so my thanks to Tom Oates. Go to the ESPN Wisconsin app. He's fantastic.
Wisconsin On Demand is up there right now.
Hasn't lost anything. According to one website, Packers are the 11th best odds to land Parsons. I got a better chance of signing with the Packers than he does. ESPN National. Remember, hold on, we got to do it every show. John Anderson on the 2025 Milwaukee Brewers. Do we got it up there, or are we going to be late? We're going to be late. Sorry, we'll do that. Remember that from now on. Maybe 5 times every show. Get enough angry bees. The Bears going down next.
Looks like we got an accident on eastbound 94 just about at Springdale Road, off on the right shoulder, so heads up with that. On westbound 94, right about at 35th Street, we've got a crash off on the right shoulder there.